Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. The evidence will clearly show Dominique Jones set a series of events that ended in a tragedy and forced Travis Rudolph to act in self-defense. Her rage and jealousy set this entire thing in motion. That's what the evidence is going to show. You testified that he was disrespectful. That's the moral of the story. Is that correct?
Correct.
Isn't the moral of the story is that you sent your brother and his friends to go kill Travis?
No, the moral of the story is him putting his hands on me. That is really the basis of everything. And I didn't send my brothers to kill him.
You just sent a text to go shoot up his right?
I didn't say shoot him.
27-year-old football star Travis Rudolph is charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder. He's accused of shooting at 4 men, wounding one of them and killing another after a heated argument with his then-girlfriend Dominique Jones. Rudolph and his defense team say he only fired at these men in self-defense, after 2 of them pointed guns at Rudolph, threatening his life. But the prosecution argues that Rudolph escalated the conflict by grabbing his AR-style weapon, chasing the 4 men more than a block, firing the rifle 39 times. The defense will now try to convince the jury that the men Travis was fighting had guns, that they were pointed at him and his brother, and that Travis reasonably feared he would die. To do that, the defendant must testify.
Your Honor, defense calls Travis Rudolph.
When Travis went to the stand, it almost felt like the grand finale. I was very interested in what he had to say. Dominique Jones was the one who seemed to present violence at the beginning. You know, there was video of her punching Travis.
Open this door, bro, because this bitch got me up. Dominique, stop.
Who are you calling a bitch, bro?
Did you ever slam Dominique to the ground twice?
No, never did that.
You've also testified that he picked you up off your feet and slammed you to the ground 2 times. Is that correct?
Right.
I think the grass probably was slick or something. I don't know how she fell.
Before Dominique left, did she ever make any threats to you out loud?
Yes, she pretty much was saying, I'm gonna have my brother them to come over here and you up and kill you.
Rudolph got a semi-automatic weapon and chased after these individuals. Then he ceases being the victim and becomes the aggressor.
This is the most critical part of the defendant's testimony. How does he explain to the jury firing on men who are seemingly retreating? The way this plays out for the jury could determine whether Rudolph is found guilty or not guilty.
So Tyler is running?
He's running.
You started shooting him as he's running?
No.
Why not?
I mean, he wasn't a threat to me at that moment.
So now the 4 guys go back to the car. You've got Keyshawn in the driver's seat, Sebastian right next to him, Christopher in the back seat, and then Tyler's trying to get in but doesn't quite make it behind Keyshawn.
As soon as I got down there, it appeared that the car was heading towards me, and the lights was off, and I seen Tyler was pointing the firearm through the door frame.
Did you start shooting before you saw Tyler with a gun?
No.
Did you see anyone else with a gun?
Yes. Sebastian.
And where was his gun?
It was pointing through the front windshield. It was pointing in me and my brother's direction.
Did you give him a chance to shoot you?
No.
There was no gun inside the car, no evidence of that.
Now the prosecution in cross-examination will try to convince the jury there was no threat to Rudolph when he fired, and that he had plenty of opportunity to just walk away.
Have you been telling the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that, you see these guns are being pointed at you. One of them is coming from the front windshield.
Yes, ma'am.
Could Travis have seen a gun through the windshield? The windows of that car were tinted.
And you say you're sure that was a firearm, right?
Yes, when Sebastian and Tyler's pointing firearms at me.
And you said one was a firearm being held by Tyler through the crack of the door on the driver's side passenger.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're shooting at Tyler or you're shooting at Sebastian?
I'm shooting to get them away from me. I'm not a marksman shooter, but I definitely felt like that was the time and moment to do what I had to do to make sure they left.
Mr. Rudolph, you said you're shooting so they get away from you. They're getting away from you. Why are you shooting?
Because they were pointing firearms at me. That's the exact reason why I was shooting.
Can you see the screen, Mr. Rudolph?
I can see the screen now.
You see anybody with a firearm out there?
In that video, no.
Doesn't even look like anybody's fighting out there. So why are you going in your house? For your firearm.
Tyler pulled a firearm out.
The gun that you said magically disappeared when you came out?
I didn't say it magically disappeared.
Sustain.
Tyler ran off. He didn't get in the car. He threw his gun. That's why we know he had a gun, because the police found it.
So they get the dog to come try to find his gun.
He threw it like down somebody's driveway.
When you got rid of the firearm, did you like hide it under a bush or dig a hole or anything like that?
Like, I didn't want them to think I was shooting people or anything like that. I kind of just threw it.
That's your gun, right?
Yes, sir.
You got rid of your gun because you knew you are one of the people responsible for getting Sebastian killed, right?
I got rid of my gun because I was scared that law enforcement would believe I was the person shooting that night.
So the jury has to figure out whether they believe Tyler Robinson and whether they think Travis hurt Dominique.
She lit the fuse that started the chain of events of that night. Had she not texted her brother, this may not have ever happened.
I didn't tell anyone to bring a gun to his house.
Okay.
I want to make that clear. Okay. I did say the shoot his shit up when I was upset in the beginning, but after that, I never said, even when I said shoot his shit up, I didn't tell them to bring a gun, obviously. I didn't say the words, bring a gun.
She expressed her anger with Travis Rudolph and then sent a message to her brother and wanted something to happen to him clearly.
Since sending that text message where you said shoot his shit up, yeah, you have since deleted it. I ended up deleting it because I realized that could look or portray me in a certain type of way that were never my intention. So it was just an impulse to delete it. I'm not hiding anything.
The case of Travis Rudolph is now in the hands of the jury. If convicted of the top charge, Travis Rudolph will serve life in prison without the possibility of parole.
State of Florida versus Travis Rudolph. Defendant. Verdict. We, the jury, find as follows. As to count one, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count two, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count three, we find the defendant not guilty. As to count four, we find the defendant not guilty.
The jury only deliberated for about 4 hours. Travis Rudolph was not guilty of murder, not guilty of attempted murder either.
Travis, what does this verdict mean to you?
It means everything, man. I finally got my freedom back and can get back to my life, man. I just want to thank the jurors, thank the court, thank everyone that was involved in this, man.
We did talk about how many times he fired, but I think Travis was terrified. He pulled the trigger until the threat was gone. We actually found a picture of the Cadillac from a front view, and you could see right through that front windshield, right into the car. Certainly reasonable that he could have seen guns pointed at him. We were all very comfortable in our decision.